welcome back to our channel. Today we're going to be giving you our review on the SANDCASTLE Kids Club at the Beach Club Resort. Alright, so maybe you'd like to have an adult evening while you're on vacation at Disney World. We certainly do like to do this. We decided to look into the options that Disney has for childcare services. They have many different options. I'm going to break those down for you in another video, but today we're going to be specifically talking about the one that we chose, which was the SANDCASTLE Club at the Beach Club Resort. Now, Disney does have 4 different activity centers that you can drop your kids off at.
You do not have to be staying at one of these resorts. I know that was kind of something that we looked into, and I don't remember where the 4 were at. I know the one that we chose was, I think, because it was closest to Epcot. It was easiest to get to and from Epcot.
This was in walking distance, I think maybe 5 to 10 minutes
outside of Epcot. Yeah, I was gonna say 10 minutes, I think.
Yeah, so you'll
right
find...
out the back of the World Showcase.
Yes.
Over by England. I think you had to go past England over the bridge and then whatever's off to the right.
Yeah, so it's like, I think it's right between the UK and France. You'll take the International Gateway and...
It's like the English Channel.
Yeah, there you go, English Channel. But actually there's a few resorts back there on that side of Epcot. If you go through the International Gateway, you'll see Boardwalk, you'll see Beach and Yacht Club, and I think Swan and Dolphin aren't too far from there as well. I think we could see them in the background, but they're a little bit farther of a walk. And then Hollywood Studios is a pretty close walk from Beach Club as well, so we could have really done either. But anyway, we wanted to spend our evening at Epcot. We had dinner reservations at Beer Garden that night, and it was our first time trying it out. So that's why we chose this one. One of the things that we really liked about this activity center was that they charge a flat rate fee per child instead of paying per hour. So you actually paid $55 per child, and you were able to drop them off and pick them up anywhere between the hours of 4:30 p.m. to midnight. And I think we got our money's worth out of that.
Yeah, I think we were at about 4:45 until midnight.
Yeah, pretty much. Our kids were the last ones there.
I think they were almost the first ones there too.
Yeah, probably.
After a week of being in a small hotel room with 3 kids, we were just ready to have a little quiet.
Have a break, right? Although, honey, yeah. I think we were only there for like 3 days. It was about 3 days into our trip.
That felt like a week.
Yeah, but we had spent the whole day with them at Epcot. We had done the behind the scenes tour with them that day, ridden a bunch of rides, Frozen Ever After, and then we walked them over to Beach Club, dropped them off. It was very simple. We had already booked this in advance. You can actually book this 180 days ahead of your trip. And I do recommend that you try to book it at least a little time before your vacation.
They full when we were there?
They weren't full, and actually our travel agent Brittany said that she's been able to get her kids in at the last minute, but you do need to call and make reservations. You cannot just drop them off. And there was a little bit of paperwork to fill out. It was nothing major, just making sure that the kids don't have any allergies and contact information, that sort of thing. I should also mention that this is for children ages 3 to 12. So anybody that's under age 3 will not be able to use this service, and over age 12. So this was, this fit our needs and our children's ages at that time. I think they were 6, 10, and 11 when we went. So it worked out perfect for us.
Yeah. I know they have like board games and tables and TVs and video games, but it was just kind of one big room where they were at.
We're actually going to include the kids' review of their experiences there, and they'll talk a little bit more about what they actually did there and what they ate, things like that. I know that they also
Landon will talk about video games and Adeline will talk about what she ate.
Yeah.
The junk food. So that's how that's going to go.
Exactly. And Emma will talk about the crafts that they did.
Yeah.
So. But I do know that they have characters that will come in and visit, and I know they did a science experiment while they were there, and I think they baked cookies.
They made a volcano, didn't they?
Yeah.
They did like the baking soda volcano thing. Yeah,
they did. So they did the science experiment. So they had someone come in for that, and they had someone come in and help them bake cookies. And I know they had a visitor from, I don't know who it was. I don't know if it was Captain Hook, or I know it was a pirate that came to visit them, but I'm not sure if it was actually Captain Hook or not. But they typically
Yes, it was the real Captain Hook. He was there.
As long as they're there from 6 to 8 p.m., then they will make sure that they are fed dinner for you, and that's included in the $55 fee. So pros and cons of the activity center.
There were a lot of pros, but the con was kind of a big one.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's the pros outweigh the cons in number, but the cons was kind of a big deal, and we didn't understand how big of a deal it was until about 11:45, and then it kind of was a really big deal.
Yeah, and it was too late at that point.
Yeah.
Although I will say that I have a solution for that, so we'll tell you the pros and the cons, and then we'll tell you the fix.
What we would have done, looking back on it.
What would you say the pros are for that?
The biggest pro, I think, is where it's at compared to Epcot. If you want to go to Epcot, or if you're at Epcot, you can walk 10 minutes there, drop the kids off, and walk 10 minutes back. Kids are dropped off, and you're back in the park.
Although we kind of ran all the way back because of, do you remember the really dark?
Big storm. Yeah, we just got into beer garden like when it started raining.
Yeah,
that was interesting.
But the clouds were very black
when
we were running. We were running as fast as we could through the International Gateway to get back into Epcot.
But you get to use that back gate, so you also don't have the regular bag check and everything. You've got a line that's 3 people long at that gate where you can just show them your bag if you have one, and walk in. You're back in the park in 5 minutes. By the time from the time you left, you could probably be back in the park in 25 minutes.
Yeah.
So I think that's, for us, especially as people who like to go to Epcot, that was our biggest pro.
This would be a good place if you're going to be going to dinner on Boardwalk or doing the evening entertainment. Then you'll be very close to that as well, or even Hollywood Studios for that matter. Yeah, so another pro was that this was a very, very affordable way to have someone watch your kids at Disney.
Yeah, I mean, $165 including 3 dinners is, it's not too bad at Disney. You can't do anything, it seems like, for less than 100. So yeah, it kind of worked out pretty well. The kids had a good time. Yeah,
and there was other kids there for them to play with. That was nice. So I think those are the pros, that it was very close to big theme parks and close to Boardwalk, where there's a lot of entertainment as well. We, of course, used Epcot that evening. That's what we did that night for our date night. But now let's talk about the cons, and we could really only think of
I kind of thought of another one as we were sitting here talking. So I'll go through mine first, because that's kind of a little one. And I guess in my head I always compare it to what are the other options. One of the cons is it's 4:30 to midnight, period. That's it. You kind of work on their schedule.
Yeah, so I can see that being a con.
I just thought of that as we were sitting here talking.
Just that you're limited on hours, but I mean, probably most people would have picked their kids up like 2 hours earlier. Probably,
but
we have 3 kids, okay? Like, we need a break.
Away from them. They make so much noise.
They do, very noisy. And they ask for things all the time. All right, so the big con for me was after we got there and picked up the kids that night, we walked out of Beach Club, we walked out the front door, and we found where the buses are so that we could get back to our resort. We weren't actually aware that you had to catch another bus to transfer and then get back to our resort. We had no idea.
Yeah, we were thinking we could get right back to Caribbean Beach from
Beach Club.
Beach Club, yeah.
Yeah, so that's just an FYI if you aren't aware that the buses...
Lesson learned, you can't.
Yeah, you cannot do that. So I think we went back inside and asked like concierge what we needed to do, because the other thing is no buses were coming. We ended up waiting an hour and a half before a bus came through that was that was actually stopping at Disney Springs and then would take us to Caribbean Beach. It was about an hour and a half that we had to wait there. It was a really long time.
At midnight with 3 kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was not fun.
So this was the biggest con, and some of it was our fault because we didn't know ahead of time. But even had we known, this is still the situation with the buses. They don't go from resort to resort, and no buses were coming through that late at night. It was midnight, and it's just the way it was. So when a bus finally did come through that would take us to Disney Springs, we got on the bus, and it was just us on the bus. There weren't any other people on there, and this awesome bus driver Remember?
I think we ended up tipping him like 20 bucks just because he drove us to Caribbean Beach.
Yeah.
We were so tired by that point. There's nobody on the bus, and supposedly this bus is supposed to go to Disney Springs.
And he's just like, where are you guys going? And we told him we've been waiting there for an hour and a half, and we just need to go to Caribbean Beach, and everyone's tired. And he's like, no problem, and he just stopped and dropped us right off at Caribbean Beach. We didn't even ask him to, and we were so thankful to him. He was amazing. Yeah. So thank you, Disney cast member. So that was the bonus of kind of a bad experience at the end of a night.
It was a bad experience, but you know, I mean, I think a lot of that con was on us. You know, I mean, A, we should have known that they didn't go from resort to resort. And secondly, she said earlier that we would say what we would have done. Why didn't we think to get an Uber?
Yeah.
We could have Ubered 2 miles.
For $8.
I mean, Uber, you usually click the thing and it's like, hey, they're 3 minutes away. Okay. 3 minutes, 5 minutes of driving, 8 minutes we'd have been back at our hotel door.
Yeah.
But we didn't think of it.
Right. So that would be the solution for you if you're not staying at Beach Club and you want to use,
or somewhere right there,
right, and you want to use the Sandcastle Kids Club at the Beach Club Resort, then at the end of the evening, if your kids are going to be there really late, then just get an Uber or a cab and go back to your hotel. It would have been so much easier had we even thought of it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it wasn't even like we were being cheap. We just didn't think of it.
I know. No, we didn't.
No.
We were really tired.
Yeah.
That'll be the excuse. So.
Yeah, so that would be an easy fix for that one.
So we've been talking a lot lately about our channel name. We are starting to put out more and more content, and every Wednesday we post Disney videos, but we also try to post some other life vlogs of going to Six Flags and our kids' hobbies like dancing and gymnastics and things like that. So we're trying to find a suitable channel name that will kind of encompass us.
Everything we do.
Yeah. And right now our channel name is lengthy and it's hard to find. It's not very searchable. So we're brainstorming and we're trying to come up with some good ideas.
We just don't want you to lose track of who we are.
Exactly. Thank you, honey. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. We appreciate all of you. Please come back every Wednesday for another Disney video. Thank you, everyone. Have a great day.
Bye.
Bye.
Just threw me off. It just made me like, oh,
I don't know.
I'm not sure it was the real Captain.
I'm not sure if it was actually.
We don't know. I'm sorry, it's so funny.
Okay, you done?
I'm done.
Okay.